This is where my recording PC used to be, okay? Webcam, camera, foam, etc. So that PC has now become my new test bench upstairs. So we gotta build me a new recording PC. I wasn't even gonna do a video on this, but I thought, hey, it's a mini, so it might be cool. And I need to upload something for their algorithm, so you guys are coming along for the ride. So actually, the reason why I got the O11 Mini was I wanted the smallest footprint that I could get while actually having an ATX motherboard, because I need all 3 slots, right? And we're gonna see if this radiator compatibility list here is actually true or not. So actually, you know what? Let's unbox this thing right now. Okay, yeah, this is exactly what I was looking for. Make no mistake, though, it's like not ITX size, but it's like just big enough to fit everything I need in here. It's like just big enough. But yeah, let me show you what parts we're gonna use today. Okay, so for today's build, we're using a 650 watt Seasonic SFX-L. I mean, I had an extra one, so that's why I'm using this one from my old ITX build. Nothing special with that. We're going with 2x16 B-die, the usual. We're going with a 5800X today. Only reason being I just had a spare one. That's literally the only reason why. Motherboard, X570 tough because Ryzen motherboards don't matter, and this was cheap. And we're going with a 2TB Intel 660p. The SSD doesn't need to be fast, it just needs to be really large for 4K 60 footage, right? So that's why I'm going with this one. Cheap 2TB, right? 280mm CLC for the CPU, 3090 Kingpin for the graphics card. So yeah, pretty run-of-the-mill build, nothing special here. Should be pretty straightforward. You can kind of see that all these parts kind of match each other, right? Like mid-range, 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 right? You kind of, when you build a PC, you want to kind of balance all your components together, right? Links to all these parts in the description below. If you want to help the channel out, buy the stuff off of Amazon. When installing a Ryzen CPU, you kind of just put it on and you twist as you push down like this. And eventually it'll fit in there. Hopefully. Real talk for a sec. Every time I buy an X570 board, I always take apart the chipset fan and see what's going on underneath there. Like, in my experience, 9 times out of 10, they always use some shitty-ass thermal paste or some kind of pad on here, and it's always making terrible contact. And then, like, what happens is the fan isn't actually cooling the chipset, and then the heat is going to soak into the rest of your board and just bake the shit out of everything. So let's actually take this off and see what's going on under here. So it looks like the tough is good. You don't gotta take this shit apart. It's just, I've had so many bad experiences I had to double check, right? There's no harm in double checking is what I want to say. You know what's kind of cool? That 1000 watt like SFX power supplies are super expensive, but like 450 and 500 watt ones are quite cheap. So you could totally do like dual SFX power supplies here, like two smaller, cheaper ones versus one bigger one. Because I don't need hard drive caddies, right? I mean, that's just food for thought. All right, cable routing's all done here. So far, this is like the easiest build I've ever had to build in. I might put a fan here after. We'll see how much room I got. But next, we're going to do the 280mm CLC on this side. It looks like everything's going to fit, so let's go. Perfect fit. Look at that. That's sick. Like, perfect. The reason why I got this CLC over other ones, it was on sale for 80 bucks on Amazon, so cheaper is better. You can't beat that shit. For 80 bucks? Hell no. Alright, next we gotta do some thermal paste, and you don't want to put too much. You want to put just the right amount. There we go. Just the right amount. All right. This is like the easiest build I've ever done, seriously. This took me like 15 minutes. Now, let's see if we can get the kingpin to fit in here somewhere, somehow. Man, for how expensive the kingpin is, it feels so cheap, man. Like, they didn't even put RGB fans up. Like, oh my god. Like, I don't know. For this much money, come on, EVGA. This is a little, come on. At least make it RGB. There we go. Everything fits great. That was super easy. So I'll probably do... I'm not really too sure. I kind of have to actually... What I'm going to test is intake on the top, trying to blow cold air down on the back plate to cool those rear chips. Maybe an exhaust here, or maybe another intake here, kind of intake, kind of trying to blow on the back plate here. Exhaust out, or intake, and then exhaust on either side. I'm not too sure yet. I don't have the fans, but I'll have to play around with that later. But build successful. Let's turn it on. Honestly, this might be my new favorite case. No PC needs to be bigger than this. This is literally the perfect size. It's tiny, and every square inch of this thing is just like, it's perfect. Well, I've been mining for 5 minutes, and my memory temperatures are 100 Celsius. Most expensive 3090 that you can buy. The worst thermal pads that you can get. Well, I guess I'm taking the entire damn thing apart and changing out the thermal pads. I'm gonna do that off camera though. This is actually the worst temperature I've ever seen on a 3090. Out of all the 3090s I have, this is the worst one. Well guys, that's it for this one. The O11D, I think, is my new favorite case, spatially wise. And Kingpin is probably the worst 3090 that I've ever gotten out of the box. So other than that, if you like the content, hit that subscribe button, do all that YouTube SEO stuff, like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you when I get this rig up and running. Talk to you later.